Welcome to the first webinar in a series of credit webinars sponsored by Alpha Advisory Group. I'm Tracy Patterson, a technology consultant, and I'm helping Gabe set up this series of webinars because it's really important to understand in this day and age where you stand with your credit and how that really can improve so many aspects of your life. This is just going to be the first webinar in a series of webinars on improving credit, keeping your credit safe, and just how to make credit work for you. Gabriella is a consumer law advocate with over 15 years of experience in mortgage banking, sales, human resources, and financial and consumer law. Gabe has taught consumer rights classes all over the United States for organizations from as small as local civics groups to the United Auto Workers. And she's provided credit counseling nationally and internationally, as well as appearing on various radio shows and on public television. And let me tell you, Gabe knows her stuff. She's an AFCPE certified financial counselor, an ICFE certified identity theft risk management specialist, a certified credit report reviewer, certified medical billing advocate, and a certified home ownership counselor. So with no further ado, here's Gabe, and let's talk about how to get your credit report.
So we're here tonight talking about how to get your credit report. And the reason why I wanted to have this presentation put together is because, believe it or not, here I've been a credit counselor for over 15 years, and almost on a daily basis people still call me and want me to go over their credit report with them, which is great. I appreciate the business, but then they still don't know how to pull their credit, or if they do know how to pull it, sometimes they run into issues. So I think it was smart that we put this together and that we make it simple and easy for you so that no matter which way you choose to pull it, given your circumstances, you have options. So there are three ways to pull your credit. One is online and get an immediate printout, over the phone, and it may take 5 to 10 business days, and by mail. Once the credit bureaus receive it again, it could take 5 to 15 business days. The law states that when you call for it or you write in for it, once they receive the information, the credit bureau has 30 days to get you that credit report. Online, you can get it instantly if you meet all the correct criteria. So let's talk about by mail. Why would you want to order your credit report by mail? Well, some of you have had identity theft done to you. It's the number one white-collar crime in America right now, and has been for several years, according to many different statistical data sources. I know I run into a lot of people that have had identity theft. Unfortunately, most of the time it's their relative. That's a whole nother series. At any rate, if that has happened to you, the only way they'll allow you to get your credit report safely is by mail. When I say they, it may be if you put a freeze on your credit or you put an alert on your credit, then that's the only way they're going to know it's you, is if you send in proper identification. So you may have to mail off for it. Some of you have tried to answer the questions over the phone or online that the credit bureaus have given you, and yet you forgot your answers, or you hit the wrong button or said the wrong thing. So now, because you've done it one time too many, online or over the phone, the credit bureau says, okay, we're not sure it's you anymore, so we need you to send some identification in to show that it's you. So now you got to do your credit requests, request your credit report by mail. And then if you have a common name, this has happened to some of my Smith friends and some of my Jones and Williams and Washington friends out there, who there may be 10, 15,000 of you. So they want to make sure that they have the right one, and you tried to pull it online, but annual credit report would not let you pull it, or any of the entities you may have used directly, such as TransUnion, Equifax, or Experian, and then some of you may have used a service. So it's important that if you have a common name, if they ask you to send for your report in writing, don't take it personal. Again, they want to make sure it's you. And then special cases. All kinds of fluky things can happen that sometimes I can't even explain as a credit counselor, but they request that you send your identification and a letter about who you are for sure, so that they can send you your report. So we'll think more about special cases. If it comes to me, I'll remind you guys of some examples, but it could be anything quirky. All right, so on this slide here, it's actually the request form that annualcreditreport.com puts out so that you can fill in your information and send off for your report in writing. They will let you download it and print it off of their website. Again, that's www.annualcreditreport.com. But you can see it here on the slide. It's very self-explanatory and simplistic. It will also let you know where to mail it and what pieces of identification they would like you to have attached to it. Writing that letter that they want to go along with the verification of your identity is really simple. Normally in the letter they want you to state that you want a copy of your credit report and include the identifying information such as your full legal name, your address, your previous address if it's been less than 2 years, your social security number, your home number, a phone where you can be reached. And also they normally want a copy of a state ID and driver's license and sometimes they also request a copy of a utility bill with that current address on there. I just remembered a special situation. Let's say you just moved recently and your address doesn't match the identification that the credit bureaus have in their system, meaning you lived in one state or one neighborhood and you moved recently, it's not matching. They're saying, well, I'm not sure it's you. This could be a potential identity theft situation. They definitely are going to make you mail in the proof of who you are. So what I normally tell people is when that comes up, wait a good 90 days after you move and make sure all your addresses are matching and that you've updated your records before you actually request the report. That way you're able to get it online or over the phone without it picking up a red flag. So you can look at the sample cover letter. Again, real simplistic. Make sure you send them complete information along with copies of information that proves it's you. To be specific, that driver's license, utility bill, cable bill, a mortgage statement, rental lease agreement, something that shows your address and your name. And of course, you never ever send originals. You always send a copy.
Gabe, can I ask, if I don't send it, will they still send my report and it'll just take longer, or will they just not send it
They
at all?
may just send you a letter that says, I'm not sure this is you, Tracy, and then you may not ever get it.
Okay.
But who knows? The credit bureaus they're an interesting animal unto themselves. But if there's a way for them to follow the rules and not give you something, they will. They normally don't give you anything if you don't give them everything they want. They'll send you letter after letter to say, I'm not sure it's you. But yet, people have identity theft situations all the time. Isn't that amazing? All right, but that's another conversation. Moving along. Here's the address for those of you that may be sight challenged. I don't know if my slides are clear to you, so I'm just being silly. Let me give you the address. It's P.O. Box 105281, Atlanta, Georgia 30348-5281. Otherwise, you can mail and request to each credit reporting agency for your individual report if you would like to do that. And you just need to go online or call the 800 operator, 800-555-1212, and get the most current address for the credit bureau. Every now and then they switch up their P.O. boxes, so I just want to make sure you get the most current information. Now, by phone, why do people order their credit report by phone? Some people aren't comfortable, nor do they trust the internet. And again, if you didn't answer the security questions correctly, you may have to try that option. And then sometimes, for some odd reason, for about 3 years in a row, TransUnion would not give me my credit report online. I have no idea why. I answered everything correct. I know all my information. It just always said, "We don't think it's you." I said, "Okay, cool." So then I would just call them and request my credit report, and I used to get it within 5 or 6 business days, so that's why I did it. So again, there's another one of those special weird cases where there's no explanation, but they just won't give it to you on the internet. So when you prep for the call, you want to be patient. You want to make sure you get the correct phone numbers, so that's why we give you on the slide, you'll see 800-555-1212. That's the toll-free operator. She or he will give you 2 of the credit bureaus out of the 3. Then you hang up, call back, and get the third one. But make sure you have the most current 800 number. And then you can also get all 3 annual credit reports if you use the toll-free number that annualcreditreport.com gives you online. So that's another option if you forget about the operator. And then you do need to use a touch tone keypad during the call. There may be people that still have those little dolly phones. They're out there still. I have a cousin that has one. However, when he has to do other things, he pulls out the cell phone and does it on a touch tone. So just want you to keep that in mind for you antique collectors. Anywho, moving right along, for your call, make sure, I know again this may seem obvious to some of us, but I just want to be clear. You need your date of birth, your current address. If you haven't lived there for 2 years or more, have that previous address available. Even though you're calling on one phone, let's say that you used a home phone for many years or a different cell number for many years, make sure you have that available, that you know your own social security number, that you can answer questions about your finances, name of lenders, for instance, if you have a mortgage, how much is your mortgage every month? They're going to ask you those type of questions to make sure it's you. And then any recent lines of credit and current or past employers. Again, the credit bureaus want to make sure it's you. Let's see. When you make the call, the automated system will ask a series of questions. Again, you're going to answer with your touch tone phone. And if your answers do not match their database, they will ask that you send a written request. We've already gone over what you need to do for the written request, so you may have to fall back into that category. When you are finished, the automated system will let you know when you should expect the report. I say 5 to 10 business days. That's how I've always received mine, most of my customers also. So that's why I'm sharing that.
Is there a limit as to how long they can
Yes,
take?
30 days. Yep, 30 days or less. And that is business days. That's why I love getting it via the internet if possible. But when you have to mail it, then you do know you're going to mail it certified mail return receipt. That's something I forgot to mention earlier, but that certified mail return receipt times the credit bureau, and it lets them know I know my rights. That's why I am timing you, and I'm going to get my return receipt to let me know when you got it, because if I don't get it within 30 days, I'm going to tell the FTC you are in non-compliance of the law under the Fair Credit Billing Act. Okay, the only site you want to go to when you pull it online, which is via the internet, is www.annualcreditreport.com. That is the only official website that the government sanctioned, that website must provide all three of your credit reports every 12 months. So for instance, if the date is October the 15th, 2013, you cannot request your report again until October the 15th, 2014. It's 12 months.
What if I want to get it before 12 months are up?
Then you just have to pay for it. You have to pay for it via a service or via going to any of the entities direct. You can pay for your credit report every day and pull it every day if you want. Nobody minds giving it to you as long as you're willing to pay for it. For instance, like one year I wanted to get a car a couple years back. So I had already got my free reports, but I wanted to make sure everything was okay with my credit, nothing popped up. And so I had to pay, and I asked the credit union, I said, which one do you look at? They said, we look at Experian. I said, cool. I went to Experian.com. I pulled my credit report. Everything looked great on it. Then I went to the credit union. I said, here's my pay stub, pulled my credit, and boom, I was able to get the car. I like yes when I want to purchase something. So that's why when you know what's on your credit report, you get yes. So prep work for the internet. Make sure you have ink in your printer and lots of paper if you want to actually print out your report. If using Google Chrome, you can save the report as a PDF file. But some of us love to have the hard copy. I know when I go to review my clients' credit reports, even though we can look at it on the computer, they always insist, no, I want to print it out. And I've had people say, oh no, I don't have enough ink, be right back. And I'm sitting there waiting for them to get their ink, and I tell them ahead of time, please make sure you have ink and paper, because time is money, people, and we want to make sure we're being cognizant of that. And some of us who have had credit a long time, let's say 20 years or more, I've seen credit reports 62 pages long. So that's why you must have lots of paper and ink. Because the bureaus, what they do is they only give you a short amount of time to actually print off that credit report once you pull it up. So I just like to be ready. When I pull it, I want to print it right away. But what I do is I PDF it as well as get a printout. All right, again, you have to know your pertinent information. What are the accounts you've had recently in the past? What's your date of birth, social security number? I know some of us got a lot on our minds, so just have all of this ready. Have you opened any recent lines of credit? How many credit cards have you had in the past that maybe you forgot about that little Visa card 9 years ago and the payment was $22? I mean, they ask you questions like that to make sure it's you. So be prepared to answer the security questions, and make sure, if you have children that are not around screaming when you're trying to do this, make sure you have a good 30 minutes or more, because sometimes it takes some time to pull your credit. So have patience with yourself. Make sure you're in the right frame of mind, because you want to be able to pull it and not have to call for it or mail for it if you don't have to, by unnecessarily not paying attention to what you're doing. Getting your report is one thing. It is not the same as the 3-digit credit score. Credit bureaus typically charge you to give you your credit score. Not typically, they always charge you. Well, maybe that's typically. So they want money. They want money for that score. Now here's what I tell people briefly about the score, which is a whole nother segment. Buying it from someone doesn't mean anything. The credit score means something when you're pulling it through the entity you're trying to get the credit from. And I'm going to leave it at that. So I don't tell people to buy credit scores. That's a waste of money, in my opinion. And it has been in my actual experience, not just my opinion. I've seen credit scores people purchase versus the one they pulled through the mortgage company vary up to 120 points. So that's why I don't tell people to buy credit scores. I'm old school like that. All right, so you go to annualcreditreport.com. They're going to give you options for pulling all three reports, but you can pull one at a time. So you have to fill in each time your address, your social security number, your phone number, your previous addresses, date of birth. It's going to ask you all those questions, and then it's going to give you those weird letters to type in. Why does it do that? It wants to make sure you're not a computer and that you're actually a human trying to pull your own report. So then you choose which one you want to go with first, TransUnion, Experian, Equifax. It doesn't matter. Just choose one, hit next, keep it moving. And then it's going to take you to those security questions. We, for intents and purposes of this call and information sharing here, we pulled TransUnion first. So as you see, it gives you some information there, and then boom, it goes right into the security questions as to what year did you have this mortgage and how much was it? And between this year and that year, did you have a credit card with a balance of, or was your payment $22 a month? It's going to ask all kinds of questions like that as in the samples. And then it's going to say, oh, you answered all the questions right. We're going to let you print your report. And then your report comes up. So again, you can save it as a PDF if you use Google Chrome, or be ready to print it out so you don't lose it and you have the information. And then it's asking you if you want to get your score and grade. And it says free score, but then it always has a price with it. That just absolutely amazes me. All right. Just want to make sure. Oh, so when you're at the end of the credit report that you pull from TransUnion, it's going to give you an option of returning to annual credit report, because guess what we have to do? We have to get the other reports. So we're going to go back. We're going to say, yes, okay, we want to go back. And then we're going to choose the next one. And it's going to let you know you already visited TransUnion. So it's kind of, they call the word idiot proof. I don't think that's nice, but I'm just saying what the technical people say. It's not personal. Rinse and repeat. It means the process is exactly the same for each agency. When done with all three reports, close your browser window. What you get by mail or phone: a printed copy of your report in the mail. When you order it by mail or phone online, the report is displayed on the screen, but it can be printed. And each report is divided into several sections. It's an intro, your personal information, your credit history, inquiries, public records. What do you want to know more about? We're done with pulling the credit. Yay! Let us know for we will let you know about why can't I talk? Let us know for upcoming webinars. We want to have some more webinars. You can email us. You can stop by our website and leave a comment. Let us know on a survey after this webinar what you would like to know about next. So what is your credit or FICO score, good or bad? What improves a mediocre score and what hurts a good score? That's going to be one of our webinars coming up next, how your credit score is actually determined. People love this information and I love delivering it. So when we talk about the credit score, we're going to say how the FICO scoring system works, you know, the official information, and then I will share with you the hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of people's scoring system, how I've actually helped them in different directions with regard to their particular situation. So I like to give real life examples and how things have turned out for folks in the real world. And then we'll talk about how the system works, and that way you'll know what to do to improve your score.
So you'll let us know, like, if inquiries hurt our credit, or how much credit's bad, or
All of that.
okay.
All of that.
All
We
right.
get into all kinds of subjects. Great information. So listen, Thank you so much for spending your time with us today to hear about how to pull your credit report. And in this way, no one has to keep calling me about that. I love you all, though, but I just want to make sure you know how to do it so that you're empowered. But the two websites you can reach out at us and share comments. The main one I would like to hear from you on is www.alphacreditexpert.com. That's our consumer-based website for the individuals out there who want to know about their credit and have questions. Again, www.alphacreditexpert.com. ALPHACREDITEXPERT.com. And then for our business environments and our corporate accounts and large groups, this website is more focused for you. www.alphaadvisorygroup.com. alphaadvisorygroup.com. ALPHAADVISORY group.com. And then you can reach us at our offices at 248-763-7376. You can leave a voicemail there 24/7. So I just want to thank you all for listening. I hope you got something out of the conversation.
Thank you, Gabe. This was really, really useful.
Very good. And I'm glad to be of service. Thank you all and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Be prosperous.